Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time to continue our story in Sekien no Inganock. Let's just go in, shall we? Because, yeah, last time was pretty bizarre episode. I don't really know what the hell happened there. We had some guy that was walking up to some weird tower that we know nothing about. And yeah, that was a weird episode. So yeah, we are just about to go bed, and yeah, we are apparently going to tell Kia some fairy tale. So yeah, let's go. He had a feeling that she would ended up worrying about him instead. He opened his mouth. He told her a tale he would heard from his mother. An old fairy tale that would lost its meaning long ago. It was a story about people who knew the color green.
ほんの10年前まで木々の緑の美しさを本当に知る人は多くなかった。それは幻に近かった。大抵の緑色というのはくすんでいて、どこへ行ってもなかった。インガノックのどこにも美しい緑は。
Interesting.
これはそんな昔の話だ。
From 10 years ago. A fairy tale? No one tells anymore.
まだこの都市に復活は訪れず、連合首都にも南大陸にも北欧帝国にだって旅することができた。10年よりも前にあったおとぎ話さ。ずっと昔、白い巨人に愛された緑の森で、緑の木々から生まれた人々がまず小さないさかいをした。そこに一人の男。
Are you talking about yourself, maybe? No, yeah, that's not possible because he's just telling fairy tale, as he told us. Yeah, I was like thinking maybe he's making analogy to himself, but yeah, that's not happening. Morning, the next day. The corner of infinitely crowded street. A boy rushed out from some back alley. He nearly crashed into Guy, but dodged at the last second. He was probably around the same age as Miles. Guy handed a few shillings to the shop owner, then picked up the bag of sandwiches with his left hand. In his right was Kia, a little white one.
冷めてからの方がうまいんだ。そうアティが言っていた。
Okay.
あなたは？
うまいと思うよ。
He answered vaguely and headed towards the monorail station. He had no confidence when it came to taste. His cranial mutation perverted the sensations from his tongue. There was an ascending monorail station nearby. He aimed for that one. His destination was the upper tier staircase. He was going for the first park tier play today. He would decide to have lunch there before making his rounds.
これが初めてのデートになるのね。なんだか不思議。
Why do you think that's date? You're talking about Ati being his wife and you're talking that as a date. What?
聞いたら奥さんがいるのに、どうしてそこへ連れて行ってくれるの？
Okay, we're going with you, Gia.
ふと思い出したね。
Green trees.
夕べの話で思い出したんだ。もう随分と長いこと言っていない。あそこはほんの瞬く間だけ憩いを与えてくれる。すべての人々へね。僕はともかく君には休息が必要だ。
もう気を使わないでいいのに。でもギー、ありがとう。
The girl showed him a smile again. The people walking along the road glanced at her warmly. Something was different from 2 days before. It was as if the girl was melting something down.
どうしたんだい？今日は機嫌がいいね。
I feel like it would be better if my microphone would be close and not artificially going like upbeat. I think like it would be better if I just put it like here, but now it would be too loud because I changed the settings. But it looks really bad on the screen. So yeah, you can let me know. Maybe I should like cut down this part and just make this microphone like lower part on the screen. Let me know what you think. If the microphone on the video will bother you or not. I think it will be like better voice then.
機嫌が良いの。お分かり？
What's that sound? Oh, it's some kind of train or something. Oh wow, that's nice. This is different. That's way different from the lower tiers of Inganock. They'd reached their destination in 30 minutes. They were going to the enormous upper tier staircase that connected the lower tiers to the upper. The first upper tier staircase park, a place of greenery. Most of the city's air was filled with engine smoke, only this area still remains clear. Water and greenery filled the surroundings. Thriving greenery. The revival 10 years ago had strengthened this place. Greenery so fertile, it could resist the toxic smog. Water so pure that it could resist the toxins. Everything here was unique. It was separated from all forms of filth in the city. Just seeing it put me at ease. The surrounding people said that aloud inside. The citizens were always covered by the grey sky, and never saw trees or leaves. This was the sole miracle that had come to them these days 10 years ago. These 10 years. Yeah. Sorry. More beautiful than 10 years ago, clearer than 10 years ago. We can have lunch here in peace, and would let Kia have some rest. Would she show him that smile again? Yes, he thought that she would, but he heard a mysterious voice. A voice he hadn't expected.
すごい。
That's the voice of admiration.
綺麗。すごいわ。こんなにたくさんの。
Yeah, this is like way different than Inganock that we know so far. Or we knew.
綺麗な緑色がいっぱい。
And you have clear water here.
すごい。こんなの初めて。これ全部が木々で。
I wonder
草で。
why is this place not under like constant watch and under constant like attacks from the lower tiers. You have like fresh clear water here. I bet that people from lower tiers will just try and get as much as they can from here. Like this is like abnormal. This is abnormal thing.
ねえギー池のようなものに満ちてるのは何？お水。こんなに澄んで水道水より不思議な景色ね。不思議。でもとっても素敵。
The words coming out of those small lips, they warmed my heart. There was no sign of its being an act. Kia was simply unaware with the scenery that had entered her vision. A voice of admiration, a sigh, her gaze sparkled as it moved between the greenery, the water and ghee. She turned her attention to the cluster of peculiar plant buildings in which the Shellops lived. What are those? She
あれ
asked.
は植物で作った家だよ。シェロブたちが住んでいる。
シェロブ？
そう、シェロブ。変異した彼らの習性は昆虫に近いんだ。
そうなの。よくわからないけど、わかったわ。すごいわ。ここにあるもの、すべて 連れてきてくれてありがとう、キー。とっても嬉しいプレゼントだわ。
She's never seen these things. This place? It was the sole place of rest for people living in the lower tiers. Many of the engine factory workers come here during the weekends to relax. Okay. For the past 10 years, in this cruel city, the first through 7 Park Place had been an important existence for the citizens' peace of mind. How could she not know that? Yeah, she's not from Inganock. She's definitely not from Inganock. Or she is. God damn it, she's so complicated, I don't know which theory I should make canon or not. One was that they both know each other and they were from the university. But she like stopped growing or something, or she reversed. And the other one is that she's not from Inganock at all. But somehow she knows him. That's what I get from the conversations so far. And no. I feel like we have just too little information here right now to think anything like really like less vague. Kia, a mysterious girl. If anyone else said that, I would think they were lying. But when you say it, I believe you.
これまでに僕の歩いた層の多くをキーヤは知らなかった。それは感じていたことだ。安全な区画で育てられていたのか。文字通りの箱入り娘か。
Huh. Or maybe she was a pitiful victim of despair and desire. Those things gave birth to dark tides in the city's lower tiers. Boys and girls confined by Salem in the city, it's impossible to say that someone wasn't brought up in such an environment.
それとも
Or maybe... No, she couldn't be an upper tier aristocrat. Upper tier aristocrat wouldn't know about that place? Really? Or at least like the green color, and then I don't buy it. I'm not buying that. Yeah, that's one of the theories as well, like she can be upper tier aristocrat, but if she don't know about that, then yeah, I should show with this hand. With that, then it doesn't make sense. He returned his gaze to the girl. At some point, Kia had moved to the water's edge and was playing with some little creature.
こっちをお手手に持って。そうそう、上手。
Oh, that's adorable. But he can't play, he don't have fingers.
あなたはお手手がたくさんあるのね。すごいわ。
Wait, what?
キーヤは2つしかないのに。
Wait, what? Yes?
まだまだ、まだまだ。
Wow, Kia voice actor just voiced the child Shellop.
ええ。そうなの。編み物だってできてしまうの？すごいわ。キーヤは編み物苦手なの。お料理は得意なのよ。
I wonder if Guy knows this game, or is it just like for higher tiers?
今度持ってきてあげる。また
He
きっ
probably
と
knows,
ここまでお散
because
歩
this
し
is
に
the
来るわ。
old game. Unless he forgotten, because he's losing his memory.
ほら、あっちから見ている人。手を振って。
She's waving her hand, together with a small Shellop child.
この子、とっても元気で可愛いの。この子も人間の子ね。
ああ、そうだよ。それはシロブの子だろう。
Kia spoke as if she'd never seen one before, and yet she was smiling. Normally, any human from the lower tiers would be afraid the first time they saw a Shellop. After all, the Shellops look strange. Yeah, they do, but they're so cute. God damn it. How could you be scared of that? In both mind and body, they were the farthest from humans out of all the fantastic mutants. Complete fantastic mutants. They'd be continually assaulted and boycotted until the city law was renewed a few years ago.
そう、楽しい？これはね、私の得意なあやとりなの。西京のずっと東にある国の遊び。あのね、これが塔で、これが橋。
I think I know only like 2 or 3 figures in this game. I played it like way long time ago, and I wasn't really good at it.
で、これが
Your first time, huh? Guy thought for a bit. He nodded a little, but decided not to wave back. Yeah, Kia is mysterious as hell. A while after that, since she had already climbed up there, he traveled to relatively high parts of the lower tiers today. He used his phenomenon equation to heal patients living in their own homes, with many rooms and even furniture. Those were high standards of living relative to where he came from. The illness contracted by the bourgeoisies were weak compared to most of the lower tiers. He didn't have accurate statistic of any sorts, but that was just his impression, along with the number of severe patients he actually encountered as he walked. They paid well, but there weren't that many. Around evening he ran out of work. The people living in upper half of the lower tiers were just too wealthy and affluent. The citizen rights, private property limits, and food rations were all different from those in the impoverished lower tier citizens below the 7th tier. Despite living in the same city, they were blessed far more than most lower tier citizens, although nowhere near as much as the aristocrats living in the upper tier. A certain kind of light, they were chosen simply by being born above the 6th tier. Monsters, creatures, mutants, and other powerful beings were here too. Everyone knew the fear and despair of the last 10 years. Nonetheless, it was infrequent for people from tiers to request healing from an anonymous traveling doctor. They chose doctors from the same tier, licensed doctors from public or private hospitals. As long as their condition wasn't too severe, they could worry about things like reputation. They were different from people who weren't able to choose at all. They had money and reputation. Their lives were filled with plenty of choices. There was no work to be done there. That was why Guy usually walked through the lower half of the lower tiers. Evening. I'm going home earlier than usual. There we go with a train again. Oh wow, this is great. Wow. I like this place a lot. Once more, the first upper tier staircase park. Yeah, the sun. You can see the sun going down here.
もしもの話なのよ。
Okay.
もしも今日お仕事が早く終わるようなら、もう一度あそこへ連れて行ってほしいの。上層階段公園。
That was when Guy decided that any further traveling would be pointless. Kia whispered her request modestly, moving her gaze back and forth several times, between the tips of Guy's shoes and the collar of his cloak. 2 weeks since they'd met. That was rare. Guy had rarely seen Kia make a request like that. That's why I listened to Kia imploring words.
綺麗。
Yeah, sunset.
ここでは夕方の空は赤いのね。緑がこんなに赤く、
In lower tiers, it's always black.
まるで炎のよう。
While silently whispering that, Kia's gaze moved across the red colors surrounding her. Scenery tingled with the evening sun, lay out before her eyes. It was the most beautiful thing in the city. The city's sole fairy tale, a story that brought forth beautiful things. The fabled Kikai whispered from behind. The first time Guy had heard about Oh my god, I'm sorry. I hope your eardrums are fine. Oh. The first time Guy had heard about the Kikai fairy tale, this was what he imagined. A red world, a sky overflowing with the brightest of flames. That must be because of our altitude. The evening sky looks nothing like this anywhere else. The upper tier staircase park. Guy was reborn here a long time ago. On that day, at that time, 10 years ago, Guy was near here when it happened. A higher tier plate than this. The third upper tier staircase park. A soundless world, brought about by the roars of collapse. He had been within the infinite rubble.
思い出すか今も
Yeah, I'm kinda surprised too. That you can remember that. He couldn't remember that time very well. His memories of 10 years ago were already fragmentary. The third park. There was a hospital there.
この音何かしら。とても綺麗でどこか悲しげなオルガンの音。
Oh! The Dryad we saw in the last episode. She spoke of a sound. Guy cleared his ears. A sound. A melody. Within the red of the setting sun, filled with surroundings, he certainly could hear a melody. A number of notes put together to create a melody. Was it from the engine-type organ? The wind carried it towards Guy and Kia at the water's edge. However, they couldn't feel its beauty. A sound that reached them was too faint.
聞こえない。なんて儚い。今にも消えそうに。綺麗なのに寂しくて悲しげな。いや、
No.
こんなにもここは美しいのに。この音がとても似合ってる。そんなの悲しいわ。
Ah, that's true. If the melody was one of sadness, it would suit the red beauty well. In the silver of time before evening, in the world where the brightest flame showed itself for such a short time, it was very sad. It could only be though as of ephemeral. So she's somewhere there. Oh! We're back in this weird place. The sound of clock. Is it time? It continues to call. A second hand moves. It stopped, pointing right at the 0 o'clock. It is a pocket watch of white silver. That is pocket watch carried by one man. The golden spiral staircase towering into the darkness. The man standing at the foot of it is none other than the silver watch's owner. With his master in the corner of his eye, continuing to climb the golden spiral staircase, the man continues to gaze at the watch, motionless. The man continues to gaze at the watch and speaks. I think it's the same. I think it's always telling the same story. Like a Chrome build. Machine won't do all. An inorganic voice.
時間だ。ブラッドツリーとの第一次接触を確認。盲目の生贄が2つ目の供物を得る。
What?
人の思いは旋律に乗るだろう。主よ、あなたの望んだ時が来た。
So the guy who made the... How was it? Phenomenon equation. He's kinda like... Because he vanished, right? Somehow. At least that's what everyone thinks. Because there's no word from him. But this is like some kind of pocket dimension? I don't know. And somehow... Maybe this is like... Phenomenon equation. This whole thing. Maybe this is like some pocket dimension that's phenomenon equation that this guy created for himself. So he is the master of this place. And of him as well at the same time then.
さあ、演奏会の始まりだ。我らの生贄はどの程度持つかな。せめて1分。いいや2分。
Okay, we have Guy in a full suit again. The next day. Today, I walk through the lowest tier, a lone traveling doctor. He was saying things today. It was as if everything had gone back to the way it used to be. Before he would meet the girl, because she wasn't beside him today. No meetings with old friends, no overlapping of eyes and right hands. With the thousands colored still him, hiding behind Guy even now. He just walked through the crowd, on a street which held hundreds of thousands. Yesterday he walked through the wealthy 4th and 5th tiers. That must have been part of it. Impoverished tiers made up most of the city. He was walking through the regions of the lower tiers that held the loudest cries of distress. That reality was all too clear. There was nearly a 30-fold difference in population density between today's tier and yesterday's. He wasn't lacking in patience here, although he couldn't make much money of them. For now, he had enough money. What he would earn yesterday normally took a month to save up. I have money, but even so, I'm walking. Doing that is my only duty, and the only way I can live in this city. He walked alone, continuing to search for severe patients. He would perform substitute healing alone. He would do it all by himself. He had told Kia to watch the place while he was gone. He wanted to avoid exposing her to unnecessary danger, since today he was going to the lowest tier to heal an accidentally bad case. More importantly, he didn't want her to see it. There were too many horrible things there. What? Don't I want to show her?
治安か。
Huh.
とはいえ、無限雑踏街も十分に悪いが。
Infinitely crowded street. There were very few dangerous monsters around. But there were countless robbers and drug dealers. Even so, he was in lowest tier. Monsters still killed people, and drugs gangs still perpetrated violence and exploited the poor. Almost 3 hours since he got off the monorail, and Guy had already seen 10 cases of people wounded by monsters. 3 of them died. He couldn't bring Kia with him. No, that wasn't it. He didn't bring her today. He hadn't been too frivolous yesterday. That's why he would go to a place filled with death. He wouldn't allow himself to stand still today.
怒っているかなキーヤは。
Maybe.
もう
Yeah, she is.
ひどいわ。一人きりにさせて自分だけで歩いて。
She puffed out with her wild cheeks. All alone, in the middle of the room, she woke up to an empty apartment this morning. It was almost midday. She had already aired the sheets and cleaned up the place. There was nothing left to do. Kia puffed out her cheeks again. A room with no one in it. A note had been left on the table. Its message was short and frank. Watch the place while I'm gone. That was it. There was no doubt that he'd left long before the sun was up. Far earlier than usual. He had promised to eat the breakfast she made. Did he forget already? The thought saddened her. She hated being left behind, even though she knew she was of no real use in his line of work. She felt angry and sad. She hesitated for a bit. Should she cry or get mad? While hesitating, she ended up doing the latter. She puffed out her cheeks once again.
書き置き一つだなんてひどいんだから。もう
She picked up the note. For a moment, she thought about throwing it out. Then she noticed something on the back. She held it up again. There was something written on it. There was far more on the back that there was in the front. How typical of Gia, Kia thought. I'm sorry, Kia. I think I will be going somewhere dangerous today. Watch this place while I'm gone. I will place a guard on the room. I've made a request of one. Of Ati's friend's runner. He's been told not to disrupt you. He will simply observe and defend from the outside. I've prepared a wireless telecommunications device so you can contact him. If you hear anything suspicious, call the number in this note. I will see you later today, Gi. I see.
アティの友達。無線型電信通信機。あ、これ小さな糸？
It's called cell phone. It was a metallic plank. It had been sitting on the desk all morning. What sort of tool was that? She could tell it was probably an energy machine. A telecommunications device this small? Was it made by a scholar? She didn't think that anything is so valuable couldn't possibly be in place like this.
どうやって使うのかしらこれ。あ、いいって。
She tried fiddling with it. Touching the panel's surface produced an old synthetic noise. She would push the button somewhere without knowing it. The Sekien word of shortwave was written there. Next, she pushed the number 1. Shortwave 1.
つながったみたい。どうしよう。誰につながって。あ、もしもし。
Oh my god, what the hell will happen? A voice. It came from the other side of the speaker.
ごめんなさい。間違って通信回線を開けてしまって。あれ？あなた、どなた？
I don't think that's a good idea to get her in contact with someone that we don't know about. Several minutes later.
何なんだ一体突然。
Oh, okay, so it's actually David. This is the guy that we met before when we had that scene with Ati on the buildings.
いきなり緊急回線で繋いできたと思ったら、代わりにどっかの誰かの部屋を監視しつつ泥棒来ないか見ててと来た。何なんだあの猫は。たくそもそも誰の部屋だっつんだ。ボロアパルトメントに押し入るやついるか。ああ、緊急回線なんざ開いて酒の誘いだと思ったんだがな。暇だぜ。
You wish. A position from which he could see the whole apartment, one bird holding binoculars. A building used to manufacture engine work desks, standing on the roof.
そもそも
あいつ自身はどこ行ってんだ。電信通信も着信拒否で遊び歩いてんのか。
The throng of infinitely crowded street. The seal houses walk toward the monorail station. The seal houses of small girl and the large woman holding her hand. The lower tier citizens around them were wearing oxygen masks on their way to the flea market. The smaller shadow staggered and was nearly swept up by the flow of lower tier citizens, but the large shadow held onto her. Sometime later, they both escaped from the tidal wave of people. Not much farther to the monorail station. The line heading directly to the staircase plate.
危ない危ない。よそ見してると飲まれるよ。
With who you are exactly, Ati?
ごめんなさいアティ。大間によく似た姿の鳥さんがいたから。
Wait. This is after? Or is it before? Is it after? So Ati fetched her from the house and go with her to the... What? I'm confused. Why did we have this scene? Yeah, this have to be like after because she's talking about the bird. So it's about David.
探せばいくらでもいるさ。まったくもうよそ見が好きなキーや。
Probably not David then? This is weird. I have no idea what to tell about this.
確かにこれは一人歩きは危ないね。ギーは正解だ。
ひどいわ。アティも意地悪を言うの？
誰かといれば大丈夫ってことさ。あたしやギーね。
うん。ええ、そうね。あなたかギーがいればキーヤは大丈夫。どこへだって行けるもの。
時と場所は選んでくれると嬉しいな。今日はまあいいんだけどさ。
This is weird. I don't know why we have this scene.
はい。
I really have no idea what the timeline we are in right now.
もう言葉は素直なんだから。可愛い子は手に負えない。
は
やれやれ。
One of the side houses was Ati, the black cat of the city skyscraper. One of the seal houses was Kia. She would have been watching the apartment. It was decided that whenever she came here, Kia had to hold someone's hand. Today, that someone was different. It wasn't Guy. Today, Kia had the black cat's fluffy hand.
い。ねえアティ。そういえばあなたのお友達は？私ご挨拶がちゃんとできていないの。部屋の護衛のお礼を言わないと。
So this is after. So she already made a contact with someone.
それにほら、今はもうキーヤも誰もいないのだし。
ね、いいの？全然気にしないでもいいのさ。
Wait, so Wait, so somehow she sneak in and go out with Kia and David is still watching the house?
結局護衛は私が受けてたわけだし、暇だったからつい。今はまあね、友達に引き継ぎさせたけど、順番があべこべになっただけだから、全然気にしないでもいいのさ。気にしないでいいってこと。さあ、キーヤ、前を向いて。君、行きたいところがあるんでしょ？
ええ、はい。行きたいところがあるの。
Somewhere I want to go. I want to hear that melody again.
どうしても気になって。
Yep. A first upper tier staircase park, perfectly cleared water and overflowing greenery. Kia had come here twice yesterday, the most beautiful place in the city and the highest place in the lower tiers. You could see on the upper tiers if you looked upwards. there it was, right behind the other tier plates. The highest tier, which looked like a small castle. It looked small from far away, but it was actually a very large structure. The upper tier, a place I don't like. Many other people, like Ati, feel the same way.
やれやれだね。度胸があるんだか世間知らずなんだか。子供っていう年でもないかもだけど、一人でこんな遠くまでさ。お散歩っていうにはやや遠いし、ま、行きたいってならしょうがないけど、そもそもキーヤ、どうしてここに？ん？
The black cat looked at Kia, still holding her hand. Her reaction seemed slow. Kia usually responded right away when spoken to. Until now, she would never just remain silent. Ati looked at the girl's face. She's a mysterious girl. Yeah, mysterious. Nothing but mysterious. Even her identity, personal history, and the reasons for staying in Gi place were mysterious. And yet, Ati felt no animosity or malice from her. She accepted Kia because she never felt such things from her. Ati would have gone with her even if Gi hadn't told her to. What she's looking at? Her eyes are so serious. Perhaps the secret was behind those two eyes? Ati thought about that a
何
little.
か探してる？何か？誰か？
But for what? For whom? She undoubtedly had a reason for coming here. Before the black cat could look around, her senses of smell and hearing completely and accurately scanned the surroundings. There was a sound and single melody. The physical abilities of normal human probably wouldn't have been enough to detect it, but Ati was able to accurately locate it. Her golden right eye wasn't just for a show. Okay, so her right eye is actually something else than just different color. Ati's sensory organs grasped her surroundings far more accurately than any other Pukela could.
悲しい旋律。そっか。これをキーヤは聞きに来たの。
アティには聞こえる？
もちろん。
ギーは詳しく聞こえないと言ったの。でも私は聞こえてしまったから、それで気になって。
耳がいいね、キーヤ。優秀だよ。都市で生きるにはとっても大切なこと。それとも勘がいいのかな？
Huh. The ears atop her head reacted to the melody. They pricked up. They resembled both a cat and tigers. They were the proof of her mutation. The source of Ati's excellent hearing. Kia's ears don't seem to be mutated, and there was no way she would amplify her hearing with a crack engine. Her inquisitive stance proved that. Is it just good intuition? I don't think Kia understands it herself. This time, Ati looked around. She looked the source of the sound.
ほら、あそこ。あそこじゃないかな。窓が開いてる。
どこ？
あそこ。小さな共同住宅が見える？木と木の間にひっそり立ってる住宅。2階建てかな？そんなに大きくはないね。ほら、よく見て。1階の部屋で一つだけ窓が開いてる。
That's where the sound's coming from.
見えたわ。あれ？
女の子が何か弾いてるのかな？見えるよね、キーヤ。
A girl with green hair. He's playing something on the other side of the open window.
やっぱりオルガン。
エンジン式オルガンだね。丁寧で繊細で綺麗な音。でも、
ええ。どこか悲しい。
Kia's gaze was fixed straight forward at the girl on the far side of the window. A girl with green hair, long beautiful hair, like the leaves on the trees. Yep, that's her. The girl, through the window, she was playing a melody on an organ. Her hair was brighter and clearer than any of the plants filling the park. It almost seems to be sparkling. I think we didn't saw her eyes before. I think last time she had closed eyes. I need to check that. If Kia could have seen her face from this angle, she probably would have been unable to look away. Ati's eyes were fixated on the girl as she thought. She knew the emotions in the girl's eyes well, acceptance and a mere despair. She immediately knew the reason. Those black vines entwined around her limbs. They weren't whizzing around her fingertips yet. So for now, she could still play. Those vines were insubstantial. They passed through the girl's clothes as they twisted around her body. That's a shade of black brought about by a creature. A chill raised up her back. She knew it wasn't contagious, since it hadn't bloomed yet, but still. The girl's playing the organ. She's already appeared to have one foot in the grave. Ati understood why the sound was so sad. Acceptance and despair, disappointment and terror. She could understand, even more by listening closely, the awkwardness of the sound and the melody. What was Kia thinking? Surely she couldn't understand it. Kia couldn't even see those black vines, because her eyes were closed. She was listening silently to the melody. Kia's expression changed, sadly. A common type of cooperative residence, proof of poverty in the lower tiers. The plants were twisting around walls and table legs, so the residents must have been part of the vegetation filling the park. Another structure would have easily been broken down by such life force. There definitely were signs of life, though most of people would hesitate to believe that. The room was being eroded by plants, but its greenness was not that of vegetation, nor was it clean lines to the superficiality of life. She could easily read the personality of the room's owner, methodical and cautious. The floor, walls and desks had all been carefully cleaned. The well-used drawers were polished. However, the owner didn't seem to be in. There she is. Little Dryad that's apparently dying. Ati didn't think the green girl was the owner. The girl sat in the room with a vacant gaze. She was too preoccupied with other things to take care of the place. Her vacant gaze, it was sunken in resignation, and still hid many other emotions.
あなたたち誰?
And there we met Dorothy. And I will leave her meeting for the next episode. It's a little bit shorter episode, around 50 minutes, but I think this is a good place to end and meet with Dorothy in the next episode. So yeah, let's save. And with that beautiful picture, I will just see you in the next one. So thank you, and Pocket Watch is going out.